Hey guys, welcome back to the Kool-Aid Podcast. Welcome back to Season 2, Episode 92. On today's episode, we're going to be giving you our post-match reaction to the Real Madrid versus Barcelona game. It ended in a 1-0 victory for Barcelona, and what a huge, absolutely huge win for Barcelona this is. All those Madridistas saying like, "Oh, we're in a steamroll Barcelona without Pedri." I don't know, Alex, if you saw, but right before the game, there was like a protest saying like, "Hey, corruption in the federation, everything," because you know about the Negrega case, the referee case that Barcelona was undergoing. Um, but so much turmoil, so much tension surrounding the game, and Barcelona come into the game with the absences of Lewandowski, Pedri, Christensen, and I believe it was Lewandowski, Pedri, Lewandowski, Usman Dembele, and Christensen.
Yeah.
Yeah, Usman Dembele.
We were missing a lot of key players, like you said.
Yeah,
And I think this was the main concern going into this game. It wasn't so much the recent form. I think it was more like, hey, we're missing like some of our best assets. And that was definitely, like we said, a big factor in how we felt
yeah.
about this game. But I just wanted to say, I don't remember yesterday what I said the prediction was score wise. I believe I said 2-0 or 1-0. So I
I
mean,
well, I went with a 2-1 Real Madrid win, but then I went with a 1-1 draw. Like that's what I wanted.
yes.
And Barcelona got the win.
Hmm. Yeah,
And they
no,
got the job done.
that's what, and I said something yesterday. I was like, you know what? Maybe who knows? Maybe Barca shows up and wins it. And this was true because Madrid haven't been at at their best level either. So, um, that goes to show anything can happen regardless of form or who's there or who
Yeah.
isn't. And we definitely saw it today in this game. Now, before we say anything else, I just wanted to say what a great performance today from Frank Kessie.
Oof, my gosh. Well, yeah, but before we dive in like into like the analysis of the players and everything and our thoughts on it, guys, remember I post a link on Twitter right before the start of every episode. If you guys want to join in and basically give your thoughts, just click on the link at Kool Podcast 10. You just go on my Twitter handle. Um, it's in the description of every single video, so you guys can go there, and just join if you want to basically just talk about the game and everything. But Alex, we had such. I think the team overall played great. I thought the team was solid defensively. They were absolutely a unit in the back.
Mm,
They were able. They had the intensity. They didn't let. They fought for every single ball, 50-50. Just Barcelona were so solid. Yes, it wasn't the most brilliant performance. Barcelona ended the game with, I think, roughly 35, 36 ball possession. And for a Barcelona team, that's like unheard of. I think the last time that's happened was before Pep Guardiola came. And hey, once again, I don't know if you like that or not, but once again, I think that at certain moments you need that. You just need to play just to get the win. And Barcelona did
yeah.
that.
Um, yeah, I completely agree. Like, I understand Barcelona's philosophy is a high possession game, creating a lot of chances, but sometimes you're just not gonna be able to do that. And I think a bit a big factor for this was the fact that we were missing key players in the team, right? So, with that being said, I don't really care how the team played. I'm more of a results type of person. Like,
Results?
it's yeah, for sure. Like, I see a lot of people like they'll talk about, oh yeah, this team played so good, they deserve to win. I'm like, that doesn't mean anything, right?
Yeah.
There's no, unless you literally got robbed of a play or something like that, then there's no deserving. It's just that's just how football is. If
Yeah.
you're getting the result, you're getting the result.
Yeah.
Um, Obviously, Barca isn't a counter-attacking team. They're not a team to just drop deep and defend. But if that's what they needed to do today to win, then so be it. I think, like you said, a huge part of the win today was because of the single-mindedness in the defense. Everyone was just on the same page.
Yeah.
Um, Everything was moving very fluidly. Yes, there were some times where Madrid got close because of poor clearances or whatnot, but they did not have a single shot on target.
Yeah, in the entire game, not a single shot on target, and all in their occasions, it was half chances. Like it wasn't like they didn't have a clear cut chance where Ter Stegen had
Hmm.
to make like a huge save
Yeah,
from out of nowhere or like an amazing block. There were a couple key blocks from, for example, like Araujo on Vinicius Jr., which was like very key. But overall in the game, it wasn't that type of game where Real Madrid absolutely just pummeled Barcelona with shots and everything. Barcelona were
Hmm.
very solid defensively, and I think Real Madrid were left without ideas. They didn't know how to break Barcelona down, and Barcelona, with that defensive setup, they said, "Hey, we scored a goal. We'll keep it tight at the back, and we'll go into the second leg with a win."
For sure. And I think this game just shows how good our defense has been all season in the league and in the domestic battles, because of course we know in Europe it's been poor, and
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
for a couple of reasons that I don't want to necessarily get into right now, because we have other stuff to cover. But I will say that um, if we are to play defense the way we did today consistently, I
Yeah.
think great things are coming. Today's defense, and you know, since we're on the topic, I thought Marcos Alonso had a great game today.
He was brilliant. Like, for example, we criticize players when they play poorly, but we have to give Alonso his props. Today, he was absolutely immense in the back.
Hmm.
His clearances, like right before the game, there was rumors of like, hey, Eric Garcia or Alonso to replace Christensen. And Alonso, just because of the height and that physicality, something that Eric Garcia doesn't have. And I thought that came perfect for this game. And on top of that, he's more of a left footer than Eric Garcia. And what a performance from Alonso! I thought he was solid. He didn't put a foot wrong. He was able to clear every single ball. I think he was massive in the defense. And I thought the defense as a whole played amazing. Um,
Hmm.
I thought Araujo had a monster game.
I mean, he's Vinny's dad at this point. He was
Yeah,
just on the whole.
at this point, like actually, like Araujo, I'm getting used to the feeling of as Araujo brings Vinicius Jr. home as like a souvenir. Like every single game, he just has him in his pocket. It's
He's got
just
to
that
empty his
simple.
pockets when he gets home.
Exactly, he just has to empty his pockets and then like, oh, there's Vinicius Jr. I thought Koundé as well also played an amazing game.
Hmm.
I thought he was able to clear every single ball. He put in the right tackles at the right time. Didn't give anything away. And the midfield, oh my gosh.
Well, but before we get into it, I wanted to say also, I thought Balde had a
Yeah,
great game too.
yeah.
Like the runs he was making were so good at breaking down the tempo of the game, and I thought he was great defensively too. But yeah, talking about the midfield, I think the
Yeah.
midfield today showed up when it needed to. I thought Frankie De Jong had a great game.
Yeah, he had an amazing
Um,
game.
Kessie, I said
Yeah.
it, and he's a player that I like personally, but at times hasn't always been at the level he should be. But props to him too. He had a phenomenal game today. And Busquets, he was just doing his thing.
Busquets did his thing. I don't think it was the most brilliant game from Busquets, but
Yeah.
once again, he did his own job. I thought Frankie De Jong. I thought he did one of the most running as well with Gavi. I thought they pressed. They literally covered every single pitch. They gave so much intensity to that midfield. And it's just a shame that Gavi wasn't there in the game against Manchester United in the away leg, because I thought if Gavi was there for that game, we would have been so much better, because he brings so much security and intensity to that midfield that it makes it so much more difficult for other teams to break us down, and it adds that layer of security.
For
Um,
sure. And and some people criticize this game as being too aggressive and committing too many fouls, but I think if it ain't broke, don't fix it, right? Like
yeah.
I think what he does so far, like yeah, he's an intense player and you're bound to foul people like that, but I thought he had a great game as well.
Hmm.
And a player I wanted to talk about today, I thought Ferran Torres had another good performance. Um, it wasn't anything insane, but I thought he was making good passes,
Yeah.
having good movement. And same with Rafinha.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, Even though we didn't have our best forwards on the pitch, I thought Torres and Rafinha, they did their job. Their job was to press, add that defensive security. You saw when Nacho or Carvajal went up, Torres and Rafinha, they dropped in. And so
Mhm.
sometimes it was like a four-man defense with like a five in the midfield. Um, or what's it called? We would have a five in the back, a four, and then just like have no one up top. There's just like no
Mhm.
reference point. And that sometimes made it very difficult to clear the ball because like there's no one up top to basically hold it up. But Barcelona were very secure to have like both of them on. And later on, when Ansu Fati came on for Rafinha, there was a clear cut chance from from Kessie actually. Torres
Yeah.
is on the wing. He's dribbling at people. He manages to put it across because he has a fantastic shot, and it would have been 2-0 unless Ansu Fati, like blocked it, and he blocked it. He didn't jump over the ball. I thought if Ansu Fati wasn't there, it would have been easy to 2-0, something like
Mm,
that. But it wasn't the
yeah,
case.
yeah. Let's just hope that doesn't come and hurt us, come back and hurt us, because a 2 goal lead is better than one, obviously.
No, yeah,
Um,
and I
and
don't
yeah,
think it does his confidence for any good.
yeah. I mean, look, we got the hardest part done, I think, which is playing away at the Bernabeu and getting a win. I don't think
Hmm.
most of the fan base was feeling it. I mean, I predicted we were gonna win, but even I had my doubts, right?
Yeah,
So, but I wanted to say real quick, in that play of the that Kessie almost scored, what a good run and what a good pass from Torres. That
yeah,
really worked. He
yeah.
completely threaded that, and you know,
It should have ended up in a goal. It should have been much
yeah, it
more.
happens.
But it happens. It happens. Just nothing's going right for Ansu Fati at the moment. But he is a player that we should have patience with. We
Mhm,
should give him our full support because he's still a very talented youngster. He's not in the best of form, but we need to have patience with him.
for sure.
Um, but now looking on to Real Madrid's lineup, this is how they lined up. It's basically the lineup that we predicted, with the exception of Tchouaméni for the exception for Camavinga for Tchouaméni. It was just like that. They lined up with a 4-3-3. Um, Camavinga later went on as the left back. Valverde dropped in the midfield. Modric came off for Rodrigo, and and Rodrigo went on the right hand side. And I thought Real Madrid, it wasn't their very best performance. I thought Real Madrid throughout the season have gotten the win, but they haven't been brilliant. They haven't
Mm,
been good throughout all that season either. In the Champions League, that win against Anfield, I believe it masks a lot of their flaws. For example, you saw some great performances, for example, from Vinicius Junior, and you saw a very poor Liverpool. But when you see how when you're being matched up against Barcelona, who do have Real Madrid's number, Barcelona of Xavi's Barcelona has, I think they've only lost a 3-1 El Clasico. Other than that, they've won every single other game. And that's, well, actually, I'm thinking maybe that Super Classico last season, the Super Copa, the one where we got knocked out. Well, I don't know if that was Xavi's. Once again, Xavi basically has Ancelotti's number. Barcelona seem to get the win, and they know how to get the win over Real Madrid. But what did you make of Real Madrid's performance? I thought it was a team that lacked ideas, didn't play that great.
yeah. I think definitely Madrid's biggest problem right now is their midfield. And no disrespect to Cross or Modric, we know what class players they are, and their longevity has just been crazy. But I do see that they're. I mean, and that's it's not just them, right? I think Modric, as well as Kroos, excuse me, as well as Kroos are still very important to the team. But you look at it and you say there's still more that can be done. And I thought, for example, excuse me, um, I thought Kamavinga didn't have a brilliant game. I know it's a lot of pressure for him, especially because he's a youngster and he's very talented. But I don't think he's been living up to the hype a lot. And I look at players like Valverde, who I'm a big fan of, secretly.
Yeah,
I really like their play style. And again, I didn't think he had a great game. I just think Madrid's main problem is that their midfield hasn't been great. Their defense is, on paper at
yeah,
least, pretty good, and their attack goes without saying. Benzema and Vinicius are a
yeah.
great combo, but I don't know.
Yeah. I think that Real Madrid midfield just like lacks the legs. For example, like Cruz and Modric, they're in up there in age. I don't think Benzema. What a big factor to Real Madrid's success was last season was Benzema's amazing Ballon d'Or campaign, where he was their main man. He was able to just like basically decide the game for himself in those moments. And this isn't the same Benzema. It could be he's in a poor run of form, or is it because he's declining because of age? Remember, he's about to turn 35, I believe.
Right.
He's getting up there with age. But Real Madrid definitely have some problems to look at in the summer. They definitely need to upgrade their fullbacks as well. That's one issue. And the same thing for Barcelona. But overall, I thought it was a very good performance from Barcelona. Match rating, I'll give it a 9. I'll give it a 9. Even though we didn't have the ball possession, Barcelona did everything they could to basically they played their game plan. When you don't have your best attacking outputs, your best players who basically make up 73% of all the goals that you've scored, that's a big loss. You're going to miss a lot of offensive contributions. And Xavi just did what he had to do. He went to the Bernabeu. He planned a solid game plan. He relied on the defense, which is our main and biggest strength so far in this season. And he made it work. We got the goal, and we go home with a 1-0 advantage. Alex,
Mhm.
what's your match rating of this game? What do you make
Yeah,
of
I
it?
will have to go somewhere similar, 8.5 to 9. I'm leaning more toward the 9 just because of what
Okay.
you said. Yeah, I think for what we were given, for the cards that we were given, I think we played it right. Um, we were missing very important players, and we're playing our biggest rival away from home. And I thought we did more than what was expected. I thought it could have been a 2-0, but a 1-0 is still a victory, and that's a good thing to take home. So I will also give it a 9.
9. Okay. And man of the match?
Man of the match. I'm a bit controversial today.
Bit controversial. Okay, let's hear it.
I I would say Marcos Alonso probably.
Marcos Alonso. Okay, okay.
I actually no, I take it back. Frank Hesse.
Yeah, I was gonna give it to Frank Kessie just because like he was in the situation. I thought he played a great game overall, and he basically contributed to that goal, even though it was like an own goal. It goes up as an own goal from Eder Militao, but he was there when he needed to. He created that goal scoring opportunity, and I thought he played a great game overall.
Hmm.
I think he was definitely our man of the match. But once again, there's like a ton of players that you can choose from, and every single player is on the channel because I thought it was a great team play as a whole today. But guys, that was it for tonight's episode. Barcelona got the win. Huge, huge, huge win. That's going to give us such a huge morale booster for La Liga because this weekend we have a big game against Valencia at home. I don't believe there's going to be Gavi in that game. Once again, that's a huge morale booster. As remember, guys, I post a link on Twitter. Just go there if you want to join the hangout. You'll be able to join. But as always, guys, like, subscribe, and comment. We'll see you guys all on the next episode. Peace out, guys.
Yes.